So way back before I even thought about doing anything YouTube related, anything video related, anything World of Warcraft related, and in fact, when I stopped working in the Marine Corps, when I'd gotten out, and when I had, that's kind of a weird way to word it, stopped working in the Marine Corps. No, my contract was up. And I had left the Marine Corps back in 2007, and I started work in the position, or at least the company, in the private sector, the civilian sector, that now has evolved into what I do today. I was introduced to one of the team leads there. He was actually the guy that I reported to. And over the course of a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, he introduced me to some of his friends, and he introduced me to one of his big side projects, which was a gaming website that he ran with these friends that we'd mentioned. And he said, hey, look, I'm interested in these content creators, someone that we're not going to pay you, but if you're interested in throwing your word, your opinion, your voice out there, kind of beef up your portfolio a little bit, whatever, that, you can do this. And it was something that I was very much interested in. And it was something that I joined in on, and we did it for a couple of years, and it was really fun. It was something that I truly enjoyed. Now, what that translated into was that now I was running my own blog. We were doing his website, but we were also at the heyday, where blogs were really big, both the personal, here's my feelings and what's going on in my life, but also these very refined, very focused blogs on specific classes. The Big Red Kitty was a big one that I followed, and there's a Druid one I can't remember. I believe he was a Marine as well, and a couple of other ones that, daily or a couple of times a week would post strategies and guides and all these things. And it was a big deal for me. And I wanted to run something like that. But my shtick was not necessarily a refined class guide, but I wanted to talk about rating. I want to talk about leadership, which obviously is a direct what has evolved into what I do today. Now, the point that I'm getting at here is that there was an article that I had written. There was a post that I had written, and I believe I had posted up. And this was, like I said, guys, this was 10 years ago, where I had talked about the value of commitment. And I was thinking about that website, and I was thinking about that article the past few days. And I want to share not necessarily the entire article with you guys, because it's completely outdated, but I want to kind of off the cuff, as I'm doing here, I want to share with you guys the spirit of the article, because it was relevant 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, and it's relevant today. So the spirit of, and the general gist of this article was, I raid, at the time I was raiding like 4 days a week, I think 4 or 5 days a week, and it was hell. And there were games out there that I wanted to play. I wanted to play, with my brother, who was playing, whatever Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever was out, or hell, maybe all of them. And, these were games where I would get text messages. Hey man, you want to play some matches, or, you want to, whatever. Let's get on the Xbox. We'll play. And it was something where I had to say, look, I'm busy. And it got to be a thing where within my circle, within my group of friends, with my brother and other people that played with us, that they knew, hey, he's not going to play these days because he has this commitment. And that's something that to this day has continued, where, I'll get a text from my brother, hey, you want to play Battlefield, you want to play, whatever the latest Call of Duty is, or are you wowing it up? And the reason why I want to talk about this, and like I said, I'm doing this completely off the cuff, nothing scripted, is because Destiny comes out, well, today. If you're watching it, it's coming out today. And the reason why I want to talk about this is because I have a player in my guild. I actually almost had 2 players, but we kind of talked one of them down off the ledge, who in the kind of, I don't want to say lead up, but our jump into mythic content as far as Tomb of Sargeras, which I've talked to you guys in the past about this kind of recruitment drought and just personal issues where, we gain 2 steps forward and then somebody goes, oh, my schedule just changed, or, I'm burnout, or I can't afford it, or, whatever life reason prevents me from playing the game. But, we finally get enough players, we get enough raiders to step finally back into mythic. And now we have one of our amazing player, at least, mechanically speaking, who has decided that instead of raiding tomorrow, we raid 2 days a week, that instead he wants to play Destiny. The game comes out tomorrow, he wants to play it tomorrow. And what he attempted to do, and like I said, this guy was on the fence, but we kind of talked him down, was convince one of his friends to also, one of our tanks, to play with him. So we have this melee DPSer in this tank who are interested in just kind of leaving the raid for the night and going to play Destiny. And we had this back and forth between the guild leadership, me being the guild leader and the raid leader, and the officers who are supporting me, and this guy who are at odds, because his thought, his voice is saying, look, it's great that we're in Mythic, but it's the end of the tier. We've already got heroic on farm, a bazillion times. We've cleared it. I'm bored. I'm getting burnt out. I want to play this. It's not my fault that, it took so long for us to get to this point. Our counter argument is, you are the reason. This right here is the reason that we have taken this long. The fact that this specific individual, and not to call him out because he is a friend of mine. I really like this guy. I'm not trying to call him out, but we do have to talk about something like this, because if I'm experiencing it, you guys out there have to be experiencing it. Or maybe you're on the other end and you are looking to go play Destiny or, whatever big game comes out, Call of Duty or whatnot. So our counter argument is, you and this attitude are the reason why it took us so long. This, this attitude of, I'll go do other stuff and just come back, or I'm getting burnt out, or I don't want to play. And all of these for this guy have been the case. And these are the reasons why we have struggled to find our place and get our foothold into Mythic content once again. We did it in Emerald Nightmare. We had a whole lot of fun, whole lot of problems, like I said, recruitment and people and, bad players, cancerous players, and then just simply life in general. And now we finally start again, and we're being crippled once more. And, it's a problem. So what I want to talk to you guys about is the value of commitment. So, when you look at a raiding guild, when you sign up for a raiding guild, whether you have been doing this, like myself, off and on for a good decade, or hell, maybe more now, or you look at, Joe Schmo, who just started playing last week, who, just hit level 110 and they've geared up and they want a little bit more of a challenge outside of LFR, and they've found their first raiding guild. Doesn't matter what your experience level is. When you go into a raiding guild with the expectation that I expect you as a raid leader to give me a spot on that raid team, I'm going to put forth effort. I'm going to do a particular job, DPS, heal, tank, whatever. And in return, you will give me a spot and you will give me an equal share of loot. You will, et cetera, et cetera. When you do that, you are making a commitment to that raiding guild, to that party, to that group that says, look, I will be there for you guys. Barring, and this is something that my guild does, because we're not super uber hardcore, if work comes up and you have to work late, or, we've had people that have anniversaries, or, something comes up and you simply cannot get on for the night, we get it. I'm not going to blow a gasket. I'm not going to freak out if you text me and you say, look, dude, work's hell and, I really got to get this project done, or I got to, do whatever. I get it. I totally get it. But otherwise, you've made a commitment to that group that you will show up and you will play, regardless of, the next big game coming out, or that you're tired or whatever, that you are going to push forward. And we talked about endurance, where it doesn't matter, whether you're tired or you're bored or you're frustrated, or, you've wiped to, whether it be normal Goroth or Mythic Kill Jayton 1,000 times already, that you will continue to push yourself and give, everything that you got because you want it. And so for this one player, it looks like he's going to pass on the raid tomorrow, which is unfortunate. And it does put us in a bind, and it does set this precedent where, we have to do something. I have to, and I hate to use this word, but punish or set an example for this player. And it's not something that I am looking forward to. It's not something that I enjoy, but it's something that needs to be done. Because I understand this guy, he's already said, look, I'm kind of waning, and, I'm kind of getting a little burnt out. But here's the thing, is we need you. We need all the players. We need everybody that's supposed to be there, because otherwise we're just spinning our wheels. We're not getting anywhere, that we are trying to do this thing and you were a part of it, but now you're stepping out so other people feel like they can step out and there's no repercussions and it's okay. And it puts us back to where we were, where we just simply don't have the numbers, we don't have the players. And it's this really shitty cycle when it comes to rating, where if you have enough, you're good to go. But if you don't have enough, it is an uphill battle to get enough, to continue on and to push yourself into a raid. And I don't know that there's any solution other than a flex mythic option. And who knows, maybe in BlizzCon here in 2 weeks, that we'll see something like that, and that would be really cool. I would love for that to happen. But I just wanted to share with you guys some of my thoughts, because you commit to this group, both me as the leadership and you as the player, and we agree that unless something horrible comes up, we're going to be there. And that means that sometimes you do have to pass on a really cool game. That Wednesday, when we're not raiding, we'll be there, and Thursday, when after you're done with the raid, it'll be there, and Friday and the whole weekend, Destiny will be there. And it's unfortunate, but I don't know what to do past putting this guy, I guess, in the back of the line as far as loot, replacing him on the bench, or rather sitting him on the bench and replacing him with somebody else at the first opportunity. And unfortunately, like I said, and I hate to use this phrase and to even think this way, but to set an example and go, look, if you're here, you're raiding. If you're not raiding because you want to play something else, then you're not raiding. And it's as simple as that. So again, this was completely off the cuff. I just wanted to talk to you guys and maybe spark a discussion. And that would be really cool if you guys disagree with me. If you say, look, man, why don't you just chill the fuck out a little bit because it's Destiny, etc. Share with me your thoughts. Am I being too hard on this guy? Am I in the wrong mindset? Are you guys thinking something? Is this acceptable behavior for me or him, or is it not acceptable? Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. How would you handle it? Whether you were the player, whether you were the guild leader, the raid leader, etc. I want to start a discussion on something like this, because I think that a discussion would be really helpful for both sides, for me and for you and for everybody else who reads it. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.